Hello and welcome back to IN Radio Broadcast. I'm Ken,
I'm John.
and we've got another episode of Broadcast where we're going to tell you what we've been doing, what's been going on, what's coming up, and we are going to be talking about BattleTech ACES and our campaign. That at this point, everything's been released. You guys have seen it. You know what's happened to the Ion Raiders, and we have a path in terms of where we are going next, which is a little bit in the 12 o'clock region of the galaxy, to the planet of Thule, or Thule, I think it is,
I'll
for
go with Fool.
Snowblind. So we're anxiously awaiting that coming out. But John, how have you been? Been a little while.
It has been a while. Life has been really, really busy. I know work has been keeping you busy. It's been keeping me busy. And then with spring turning into more summer, just been busy doing outside stuff. So I know before we started this, we're like, we shouldn't turn it into another home improvement project. But I'll be really honest, that's pretty much all of the stuff I've been doing.
I've been
So
playing with a bathroom that's just stuff is not working correctly, and I think we fixed it today. So we'll have to wait and see. But it's been little things like the pool opened up, so trying to play with that and balance the chemicals, that's just a nightmare and a half.
I'm almost there.
Almost there. All right.
So
I gotta
we go
wait.
to, we go to or I go to one of the stores to get the water test, and they give you a percentage. I'm going to get 100% this year. That's my goal. I started off at 20% because um, it my pump, I couldn't get the top on it. Like back after winter, because I just couldn't screw it. Like I had my wife standing on it and holding it, and me trying to do it, and it wasn't moving. I'm like, I need some good lubrication of something, so I got like a silicone based thing, and then Amazon's next day turned into 3 days. So I couldn't get the pool pump running, and then by the time I was actually able to get it running, it had been too warm for too many days in a row, and I had a full on algae bloom, so I was skimming algae foam off the top as I was trying to throw chemicals in it to kill it. But today, my pool is completely cleared. So I went from 20%, and the last time I had it checked, I was at 70%. And I have a feeling I'll be higher than that when I get it rechecked. So I've been doing a lot of pool stuff of trying to get that actually chemically balanced, which
When did you open yours?
um 2 Wednesdays ago.
Okay, so I opened it this past Monday. So you're about 5 days ahead of me. I got to catch up. I got a lot
Yes,
of
you
dirt in
do.
mine still, but my pool's a little bit bigger, John. So
Yeah. I also just replaced the filter cartridge
uh,
because it was the previous owner, and I know they haven't taken care of anything in the house. So I'm like, it's just time to buy a new one. And then I was like, I was going to use this one as an old one, as like if I needed to do vacuuming or pour anything super, like it's going to absorb into it. After putting the new one in and seeing what the pressures were and how much flow I was getting out of it, I'm like, that one goes in the trash. They're not that expensive. I'm just going to buy another one as a backup. So I did that. And then I think I started telling the last time that we were going to dig a hole in the backyard. We're going to dig
mhm.
out the fire pit. Did I tell you how big of a disaster that ended up being?
Is this the thing where you found rock and concrete and everything else?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So what we thought was going to be a 3 foot by 3 foot hole ended up, we're still not done with it yet, but it is probably 12 feet by 12 feet because they laid down on the ground that weed tarp and then covered with rocks and then just didn't ever take care of it like everything else in the house. So I'm going to put in quotes grass because it's mainly weeds have overgrown into it. So we just thought it was a 3 foot hole, but it was actually 12 by 12. So we're like in the process of trying to rip all of that out and then get as many rocks out as we can to then backfill it with dirt so then I can seed it. It's exhausting. Like I'm not made for that. It's been horrible. Um so hobby stuff, I've not done any hobby stuff unless you consider balancing pool chemicals and digging holes as hobby. That's what I've done with my free time.
Yeah, it's been home repair stuff. I've been reorganizing the basement down here, which is why I'm still against the workbench instead of the game library as usual. But things are moving along, and now instead of 6 or 7 piles of boxes, I only have 2, 3, 5 piles of boxes, and there's organization and stuff's getting tossed. And it's amazing, John, the number of boxes I open up that have like one little thing in it, and then you wonder why.
Why was this ever here?
Right.
What was
Uh,
I thinking?
so it's a slow progression. My utility room is finally cleaned up. I'm really happy about that. But yeah, it's the corral space has been organized, which is very useful for me. But in terms of hobby stuff, I recently picked up Snapship Tactics, so I've been kind of playing that on my own against the AI that comes with it. It's actually kind of a fun little game. It's not quite as nuts as X-Wing, I'm going to say. But it's neat because you have little energy cubes that tell you how much power you have, and you use your cubes to activate cards, which let you shoot or move or do something. And they generate heat, and you can only take away so much each turn. So it's kind of a neat system in terms of how the ships move and fire and everything else. And it's kind of cool to almost add the Lego building aspect
Mhm.
where you have to build the ships and then you can play it. So that's been kind of a fun thing to do. The other thing that I've done hobby wise is I did get a chance to play the StarCraft miniatures game. Now, I remember StarCraft when it came out a million years ago with Blizzard, and I played that in and out along with the Command and Conquer series. So everyone with the real-time strategy games in the video game world, those were two of the big ones. Had some fun playing the miniature game. It reminded me enough of the video game in terms of building your armies. You're getting cards that are built. You need so much Vespene gas so that you can build this unit, and you need some minerals to build that unit. And then you put your squads of troops out. And I like the objective system in terms of to gain this point, you have your group sizes will shrink. So if like Zerglings, you can have anywhere from 1 to 18 on in one group. But depending on how many you have, gives you so many supply points, either 0, 1, or 2. So if you've got all 18 of them, 18 Zerglings are going to hold a point over a group of Marines. Makes sense. But 6 might not. So it's an interesting type of a system. It's a lot of back and forth, and you can start seeing the rock, paper, scissors aspect that
Mhm.
StarCraft is known for in the miniatures game. So it was neat. It was a lot of fun to get an opportunity to play that. Um, but that's really been about it in terms of what I've been doing hobby wise. For those that are wondering, I am going to Origins. That's only about a month away. So if you are there, say hello. And just given the fact that I know Snowblind is due to come out right around Gen Con, distinct possibility I may go down for the day for no other reason than just to pick up Snowblind, assuming
Try
that's the
to.
release. Right, try to.
Try to pick it up.
Yeah. Well, if the past is any indication, Catalyst usually has a booth right there, so I just have to be there first thing Thursday morning to go straight to Catalyst to try and get it, unless they pull an Adepticon and hang out in the outside hallway, which I don't think you can do at Gen Con, but we'll have to see.
That I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it for that. So filming wise, we finished Madness,
Hmm.
and I feel like Madness was a ton of fun this year, so we can't wait for you guys to watch it. Our mini game in it, I thought worked really, really well. Um, and I think we had some of the best matches in all of Madness.
Yeah.
So really looking forward to you guys watching. I know you're now in the process of
Yes.
editing all of that stuff, so.
Yeah, a lot of the graphic work is now done, so now it's just making sure that all the cuts are right, that we're not adding in stuff that you don't want to see, like me or John thinking for 40 minutes on what's the move to make. We'll cut that out for you. But there was one, and definitely one, and I think two, where it really came down to that last, activation almost in terms of how things work.
There are points in certain games that I do things that make zero sense until like the next turn, and then I was like, oh,
Yeah, I was blindsided once or twice with that. That would yeah, it's going to be a good series for people to
yeah,
watch, and it's short, only 7 episodes, but eight teams, each one gets eliminated each round. So, but still, nonetheless, I had fun playing Armada. It was kind of neat to get that back on the table after its absence for a while,
yeah, it really was.
and I think the fleets were a little bit more competitive with some of our rule sets, like dumping gunnery teams, PDICs, and everything else.
Eliminating gunnery teams and PDICs made the game flow so much better.
Hmm. Hmm.
Those are just killer cards.
They are.
Um, let's see, what else do we have in the lineup? You have an interview, I believe, as well.
Yes. So I had an opportunity about 2 weeks ago, I think, where I spoke with Josh Dirksen. We got him on the channel. I talked his ear off. It was probably about 3 hours that we spent chit-chatting, and I think it was about 2-ish hours, a little bit less of usable footage in that, because sometimes you'll go off on a weird tangent, start telling stories that are, well, just not relevant to what we're talking about. But really
So
nice
it's like
guy.
talking with both of us. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
kind of like what
Yeah.
we usually do.
Yeah.
But no, had a really good time. Got to get some really deep cut information in terms of how he got involved with Catalyst and how that ultimately formed into BattleTech Aces. And there's some fun stories in there. So I'm looking forward to that coming out. That's still in post-production editing. We've got to make sure that he can take a look at it also, so that oh, like, wait a minute, I wasn't supposed to say that. Cut that. Um, just one of those fun courtesies that we provide. But that's coming out hopefully in about 2 weeks is going to be my target for that to come out. So you guys will be watching this in theory in another week. The Josh Dirksen interview will come out. And then I think after that's when we're going to release Madness.
Yep.
Probably
Madness.
1 or 2 weeks after that.
Yeah. Madness should just run bam, 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 bam
Yeah,
right after each
Madness will
other.
be, yeah, 7 weeks of nothing but Armada on Iron, 7 weeks of Armada on Ion Radio.
Yep. And then we'll come back and we'll probably do one of these and we'll just talk through all the really exciting moments that were in it. So
And
cannot
there's a
wait to do
lot.
that.
There's a lot. And
Yeah.
that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
Yes,
Uh,
there is.
we can talk about the upcoming stuff that we've been chatting a little bit about later. Should we get right into the meat of
I
our
say
episode
let's just
today?
start it because normally we would review what happened in episodes recently, but that is what we were going to do anyway. So we'll
Right.
just jump into it. So BattleTech Aces, Scouring Sands. We did a playthrough. We played it on like normal difficulty. You made 50% of the force, and I made 50% of the force. We called it the Ion Raiders because why not? And we each had then like two pilots, and we named or inspired the names from Patreon members, I
Yep.
believe.
Yep.
Um, like I think some of them were just like, I want something to do with this, and we're like, okay, that's not a call sign, but let's
We'll give
figure
you
it out.
this. Yeah.
I think what was it?
I think it was Red Line was one
Red
that we
Line,
were
yeah.
given
He's
ideas
like,
of what
I
they'd
want
like.
something to do with heat and hot, and we're like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Here you
I
go.
I think we may have just Googled words that mean and words that sound like, and that just went through the list
Could
for
be.
some of them.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, but that
but
was
yeah,
fun to get the patrons involved because they actually were commenting on the video and they wanted to see would their pilot survive.
exactly.
So that was actually kind of fun for us to do with them, and we got a lot of good comments from them as things were going throughout
Yeah,
the series.
all of our pilots survived. I think we
Mhm.
only lost actually one mech because you blew it up. Um,
Yeah, I lost the Warhammer.
no, the Warhammer is fine. I think it's the rifleman that actually
Or you
destroyed
know
it.
what? You're right. We
It was
lost the
like the
rifleman.
last turn of the last
That's
game,
right.
and you rolled Snake Eyes on it, and
The
it exploded.
the Warhammer was knocked out, but it was not destroyed.
Yeah, it was
The
salvageable.
rifleman was the one that was destroyed at the very end. Yeah.
Yeah, gosh. We're like, we'll just roll it just in case. Kaboom.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have just said, "Oh no, it'll be fine."
Yeah.
But that's okay, John, because the Thunderbolt 2C is a better mech than the rifle. A little more expensive too. But I having only lost one and the way we wound up playing it out, and now that we're at above 3,000 points of SP on our pilots, we're going to get that 10% penalty in the next campaign, at least to start with. Um, yeah, I think this will be fun. And by the way, this will happen in our interview, but Josh has been watching along our campaign as the episodes have coming out, and he said, "You guys probably should have done it on a harder
Well, but
version."
here's
But
the thing. We just didn't know.
right, right.
And when you just don't know, we didn't want to film halfway through and realize that we bit off way more than we could chew. We figured that we could beat it on normal.
Yeah, yeah.
I believe afterwards you've gone back and you've experimented on Legendary.
I have experimented on Legendary, and I got about two. I was on the third mission, and I have just been completely unsuccessful in being able to get past it. So and that might be the mech mix that I'm using, because I intentionally decided to make things extra difficult by saying I will only use the mechs from the Alpha Strike box.
Yeah.
So I don't recommend that, at least not on Legendary. It does not work well. Um, but I have kind of started to replay it, and I've been pseudo playing with my brothers, and I wound up getting to the end. I think I was playing on whatever the level above normal is. I think that's the veteran or advanced or whatever. I got to a Zellbriggen mission at the end, which was kind of neat also. But that's that's neither here nor there, because that's my campaign. And I know you John, are thinking of replaying also, right?
Yeah, that's just well, while you're editing, I have nothing to edit currently. So if I wasn't so busy digging a giant hole in my backyard, I would have started this by now. So if it's something that you guys are interested in, let me know. I'll probably do just a very rough edit, probably just camera and dice cam or something like that, or the above camera down. But I was thinking about taking our exact same force that we did, reset it all the way back to zero. I might have to go back and watch our first video of where we set our pilots because I don't remember what we did. And then I would run through legendary. I don't know if I want to pick the same path. I
Mm,
might just pick different just to see a more variety of it and see how far I can get in legendary just playing by myself.
mhm.
So if that's something you guys are interested in watching, let me know and I'll start that. I mean, we already have everything painted up, so might as well keep with it.
Use it, yeah.
But yeah, so let's go back to starting the campaign. You got to pick half the force. So what was your inspiration or ideas in picking the handful of mechs that you did?
So I know for me, I'm a big fan of that, 30-20 era. So I was looking at, well, what mechs might still be around and kind of fit into there. And the other thing that I absolutely had to do is include a Timberwolf, because I just wanted to have a Timberwolf in our group. So I had the Timberwolf, I had the Shadowhawk. The Shadowhawk is one of my favorite mechs, just in general, and actually wound up being a lot more effective than I expected it to be.
It was one of our best mechs in the
It really was. Usually
mix.
the Shadowhawk is nothing but, shoot at that. And then, when it blows up, you hit your primary targets. Shadowhawk did a lot of work, so I was pleased with that. The Warhammer, because that's another one of my favorite mechs. And then I think it was it the Flea and the Spider, I think were my other two, or no, it's Rifleman was
Yeah,
the
you had
other.
the flea and the rifleman. I
The
think we
three and
both
yeah.
picked five mechs.
Yes, we did. It was the Flea and the Rifleman. And I picked the Rifleman just because, I was initially thinking, you get something with an AC, set of AC5s or something to shoot stuff down. And then you start looking at Clan and realize that, no, you actually really don't have the same kind of loadouts anymore.
No.
So that changed it, but that's okay. It wound up being a 28 PV mech instead of something a little bit beefier. And then the Flea I got just to round out the points. And I figured, well, we need something that's going to move fast. There might be a mission where speed is of the essence. And there's a couple times that Flea darted across the board to get to an objective point for us. So especially when it would run, jump down to the water, come back up, and still make it about 15 inches across the table.
Yeah, the thing just moves like crazy.
Yeah, easy target, but it was neat. So it wasn't necessarily a rhyme or reason other than I like these mechs. I think it'd be a fun group to put in there. and let's see what happens. And that Thunderbolt wound up being good. The Shadowhawk wound up being good. The Flea was good. The Warhammer and the Rifleman were actually the target fodder for the most part. What about you, John? You had a little bit more interesting system in terms of how you picked your mechs.
Yeah, so because we each had what? How many points
200,
do we each get? We
200
had
points.
each 200. So I decided to make mine so then it fit into different divisible units. So I had like 50, 50, and then like a 60-40 split.
Hmm.
And I really wanted to use a Jade Hawk, mainly because technically my first model of BattleTech was a Clicky Tech, and it was a Jade Hawk that came in the starter kit for the Age of Destruction for the Mech Warrior Click game. And I honestly think they look awesome and they look pretty good in this new thing too. So I'm like, I really would like that. But sadly, all the really good ones are not available to Mercenary inside this campaign system. And I didn't know that until I already like I'm committed to using it. So I used this model and it still works really well. It has no jump jets though, so it looks like a mech that should be jumping, but this is the non-jumping version, which is very frustrating. Because could you imagine how good it would have been if it was a jumping
Oh
one? It
man,
was
that would have been
already
all
really
over the
good.
place. Yeah, I think one of our
Um,
better mechs.
so I started there, and then I decided I really would like some heat. Um, I like heat is very powerful when you're shooting at like infantry or vehicles or just units because honestly the ace cards were going to annihilate us. So if I could get some heat damage on them, then maybe they won't be shooting as accurately or be able to move. That's kind of like my thought process in it. So then I added onto the Jade Hawk a um, Star Adder that had heat on it, and then also a Loki Mark II, and those together added up to 100. So like the Jade Hawk was like 50 points, so now I'm at like
Hmm.
150 points. So that's three of my mechs, and then I'm like, I really need something that has like probes and sensors, and let's go all out scouting. So we added in then I believe I took the Oscout
Hmm.
and the
And the spider.
spider, and spiders are just fun because it's
Yeah.
like a few things jump behind you, shoot you, jump away. So they both had like huge jump jet abilities. I think they were like both jump 16. So they're
Yeah.
almost like the same thing, except the spiders like double the damage.
Right.
Um, but they added up then to 50 points as well. So I was like right dead on um, the 200 points. And then those different parts could be like swapped in and out depending on what our points was. So that's kind of like my game philosophy for that.
It wound up working out because there was a number of times where we needed to find that evenly divisible, part to get into the right mix of mechs that we had to field. And I think it wound up working. Mine just because the Timberwolf 62 points. It's like, well, all right, you're giving something up to be able to do that. Uh,
Yes.
then again, though, the Timberwolf, because I had the T model, being able to roll 9 dice at once at range was that was fun
Yeah.
and useful several times.
Yeah, we had very much so a group of very light mechs, and then we had a group of very heavy
Very
hitting
heavy.
mechs, and you see that in like some of our later missions when it's like just deploy all 400, and you could see like here's a chunk of like we're gonna blow you up, and here's a chunk of we're gonna run around and do everything else
Yeah.
on the map.
Oddly enough, I think the two, if I'm going to say medium strength mechs, were pretty much the Shadowhawk and the Warhammer. You can kind of throw the Rifleman in there, but that was more like a glass cannon. Uh,
Yeah,
but yeah, everything else was just scouts or really super heavy. So,
yeah,
but it wound up working out, and we had fun with it. I know the story that we got to tell with our guys was kind of fun, and I think sometimes the randomness of what we had to draw for those the objective tokens. It would just like, well, here comes a tank running right into an objective token. Look, it ran into a mine and exploded. And we're
I
like,
know.
that's kind of exactly what happened. And the
Yeah,
flavor text was, the opponent drove in at full speed. I'm like, yes, yes, it did.
yeah. Um, so in the mission, we decided it's because you get like three options to start, and it's like You can like meet the locals and be friendly with them. You can
Mhm.
straight up attack the Jade Falcons off the bat, or you could be defensive. So you have like three different options. It's like an attack option, a defense option, and then like a friendly option. So
Mhm.
right off the bat, we both decided that we were going to play friendly.
Mhm.
And if there was an option that would benefit the people more than another one, that's the option that we were going to take. And I feel like we stuck very true to that throughout
I
the
agree.
entire match. And like honestly, I don't think we lost a single building of civilians through the entire thing.
No.
So look at us go. Look at us being the good guys. Um, so we did that, and this is why people probably think we should play at a higher difficulty. But we also were very aggressive when fighting
Mhm.
and keeping things away. We would just basically charge in and over firepower them, which honestly I think is one of the best ideas. Like turtling, I don't think works well in this campaign.
No, because the Jade Falcon forces are going to be a lot more aggressive.
Yeah.
So if you start to turtle or huddle in a corner or try to look for a more defensive position, they're just going to outmaneuver you and start shooting you down, especially if that locust gets involved. Because talk about a menace on the board. I mean, it's like 5 or 6 attack dice at you every time it has a
At
shot
medium range,
at
it's
medium range,
crazy.
and it's a small little mech. You have to take it out. Um, and then when you start getting some of the bigger mechs in there, like the Bane, it's rolling 8 dice regardless of range, and that hurts. If you can't take a pounding, you're going down. And
Yeah.
we lost many a mech.
I think the Locust and the Bane, I think, were the only things that were able to actually destroy mechs.
I would agree. I would agree. I think everything else would do damage, but I don't think anything else blew up another mech. We lost a mech here or there, but we were able to recover it. At the end of each mission, with the exception of the rifleman at the very.
When it exploded from
Yeah,
Snake Eyes. Yep.
yeah, yeah. Of course, that's also when I sat there and I was saying, it's like near impossible to lose a mech. Roll the dice. I spoke
Boop.
too soon.
Yes, you did.
Um,
Which of the missions would you say is your favorite of the missions?
Towards the end, I think it was it's mission number 15. It's where we're defending the city. And there's like a power plant where the elementals or the infantry are going around placing bombs in buildings. And then the southwest corner of the map, there was the 4 or 5 Jade Falcon heavies coming up to try and defend. And what I liked about that, two things. First, we had to kind of split our forces up. One half taking care of the demolition work that we wanted to prevent, and then the other half where we had some of our heavy mechs fending off the incoming Falcons. And to me, what I liked about that's the first part was neat how we had to deploy. But the second thing was each group had a different mission. So it wasn't just blow this up or, maintain, this position. We had two different things going on and could not concentrate our forces all in one area, which it raised the stakes for me a little bit. So that was actually the intriguing part about it, is that it was a mission written requiring you to think a little differently than just a straight up shoot up battle.
Yes, I would agree. Because if you were to ignore what was going on in the city, you would lose. And
Yeah,
if you ignored the Jade Falcons moving across, they were just going to swarm you, and it was not going to end well.
yeah, yeah, completely. And it's one of those many ways to lose, but only one way to win kind of scenarios. Um, so I would say that's probably my favorite. I have a second one that I enjoy, but I'll see what yours was first of the ones we played before I mention that.
I honestly think I really enjoyed the last mission. It's also nice when your strategy works because they all got deployed in the one corner. Like we went into that and we had an idea of what we wanted to do,
Hmm.
and we stuck to it, and it worked.
Hmm.
Our mines went off. They did tons of damage. The turrets that we paid for actually were doing plink damage in.
Right.
Um, We pinned them in the back corner. We lost a lot of mechs that game. We lost, I think, what, 3 mechs,
It's three.
but we recovered 2 of them because
We
the
lost the
flea got
flea,
exploded, the
lost the
spider got
warhammer.
exploded,
Oh, the
not
spider
the
may have got
warhammer.
the
The
warhammer survived.
yeah, the
Okay.
warhammer was fine. The rifleman, that's when it got
Yeah.
its ammo explosion. The Loki was almost dead.
Yeah.
We just kept playing it as dead, and then it just kept not dying.
Right.
It was like a whole turn of shutdown, and mechs were like, "Yeah, we don't want to shoot a shutdown mech. There's no honor in that."
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Um, I got some smacking down
mhm.
elementals with my one mech.
We kicked them.
Yeah, we were just kicking them right out of the air. That one was a lot of fun. That's when like the vehicles just exploded by the mines.
By the
Like,
mines.
yeah, that was just a fun match.
That
And
was fun. It was a good way to end it. And for the eagle-eyed viewers that were watching some of the edits, there was one point where you talked about kicking the elementals off the board, and I actually edited out where the elementals went flying off the side. So maybe I'll put that in as a short, but
looking for sevens on one roll. I have edge to bump it up. I also have edge that I can spend to just completely re-roll if it's a complete whiff. But it is not. We just
11.
completely. I'm going to go with we kick them, right? We
kick 'em.
just kick them one at a time as they explode from the Jade Hawk
All the little
attacking it.
battle armor goes flying, and I love it.
That was a lot of fun because I wasn't sure at some points. I thought we were going to lose one or two more mechs throughout that mission.
Really close.
Yeah, and my concern was as the new mechs were coming in, and that was the other neat thing. It was wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 of mechs, and it was all right. We'd start moving down, and then they'd start coming in from behind us, which we had a plan to deal with that. And we never really needed to worry too much about it. I think only one mech came out from the northwest corner.
One vehicle and I believe one mech came out of the middle.
Yeah.
And everything else was down in the
Everything
bottom
else,
corner.
yeah. So it wound up being fine. It was like that other one early on. It was like the second mission, I think,
The second
where
message.
we're looking at it saying, well, there's 3 different firing lines. We can protect this, do that, and they all wound up coming out of the one. So
Yeah, there's only one mech that came out of that, and that's the one that like all of our heavies were looking at, all of our assaults and clan heavies were staring at from the beginning. We're like, well, we're gonna blow you up,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then go back. So yeah,
I'm gonna give an honorary mention to the third mission we played, which was the nighttime one.
yeah,
Which it was a little shorter than I think either you or I expected.
yes,
But that's because of the randomness of where those waypoint markers are.
yes.
Because if it would have been on the backside like we were expecting it to be, uh, that would have completely changed the game, and we would have taken probably 3 or 4 more turns to play out. And we were right at the point to where they were finding us and starting to shoot at us too. So that I thought was fun. That the concept, at the very least, was unique in terms of being able to move around the board.
Yeah, I think what we officially finished that one in 2 turns,
Mm-hmm.
and unofficially, if you couldn't scan the same turn that, or you couldn't pick it up and do whatever the
Right,
same
yeah.
turn you found it, we finished it in 3 turns. But yeah, our luck in that one was huge. Just immediately finding it in our first move forward. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but we kind of had a plan from the beginning. We were just going to all out sprint
Mm-hmm.
and find all of them, find what we needed, and then get off the map. And we had paid the extra points. I think we brought the blood asp in it.
Yeah, we were
And
able
the
to bring
blood,
one extra map. Yeah.
the blood asp out matched everything. He, as soon as we would have started shooting with that thing, what like nothing was strong enough that they had in there really to deal with the blood asp by itself. So I'm not really. There was never a point that I was really worried that we wouldn't win it from our mech perspective. I thought we brought a really good mix of mechs.
I think so. And because between the heavies and the scouts, which covered 90% of our force right there, we had each mech had a job. And, some of the pilots, we moved around a little bit. Barfly wound up moving from a fast scout and wound up finding the Shadowhawk as his primary home.
Yeah.
And that just again, the Shadowhawk wound up becoming a stellar mech on it's completely unexpected. But that's okay. It was it. You're going to have mech warriors that are going to do that in real life, right? So
Yeah, he found a new home. He is now
yeah,
a
yeah,
Shadowhawk pilot.
yeah.
I'm trying to think. I thought the campaign, so we have to do comparisons. Um, this campaign book compared to every other thing basically ever written in BattleTech is just so much better. There was never a point in reading the rules or the scenarios or really anything in it
Mhm.
that we were like, I don't know what to do.
No,
It is
everything was clear.
all laid out
Yep.
extremely well. And I know there's discussion that was on Reddit. There was some discussion from other people that released videos, and there was discussion even on our channel about that mission two. Like, do the Jade Falcon shoot at it? And like, we came to the decision: do what the cards say.
Hmm.
And there was nothing in the book that said to mark anything, any of the buildings as objectives.
Right.
So we didn't. And then afterwards, because after we finished a mission, we of course went back and read all the waypoints for it. Um, and in it, when you trigger a certain waypoint, it will have them then target. So
Right.
it's like move on, engage, fight you, and then at a certain point, they start ignoring you and just start blowing up the field. And thankfully, we skipped from like having nothing destroyed to exactly the amount needed for them
Right.
to retreat. Otherwise, they were going to start blowing up the buildings.
Right. And that I think that number was like you needed to have two destroyed, and then it was ignore the enemy mechs, shoot buildings.
Yeah.
And they were in a prime position to have actually
Yes.
done that. So we got lucky again because I think we had a good roll on one of the smaller mechs that just took it out, and we were able to get all three.
Yes, we were able to force withdraw it
Right.
on the last turn. We're like, do we shoot this or destroy that? And putting in force withdraw actually ended up being the better option for
It
us, not
really did.
even knowing.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I thought the storyline made sense and it
Hmm.
moved forward very efficiently. I do wonder. I know in the like middle mission, mission four,
Hmm.
there's like multiple ways to win that.
Yes.
And the more we've looked at it, the more I'm like, I don't know a different way that would be better to do it than what we did, which was just bum rush and kill Sender
Yep.
right there and then. Like we did that in like one turn. He like jumped forward. He's like, I'm going to get you after we ambushed your guys. And we're like, haha, here's 10 mechs in your
Yeah.
face. Um like trying to get the vehicles off and alive, I think would be really, really difficult. Like honestly, we should go back and try it, but like us talking about doing it on legendary, that's not going to happen on legendary. Absolutely
No,
not.
no, probably not. Doing it maybe at like one or two levels up. I think that's that veteran or the elite status. We could probably do it then. But then that becomes more of a challenge, though, John, to not blow them up and then get the tanks off so that you can intentionally go through a different mission tree.
Different path,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. So it's like unlocking the the hidden Easter egg.
Yeah. Um if I were to do that, I wouldn't try that on a legendary though.
Probably not.
But yeah, that mission I think it's designed to just charge forward and fight them.
Yeah, I'd agree. Because my thing was you have to protect those APCs. And the best way to do it was, well, Sender's right there front and center, take them out. It's um,
Yep.
and you could, I mean, minus the final hit point on them. But interestingly enough, just because that was a short mission, and every path goes to that, and then from there you can branch out to three more. It was like a giant cutscene in the middle of like a video game. Like you're
Yes, it
going to
was.
have this happen, and it was neat to kind of this is our introduction to the big bad, and yeah, it's like all right, well we're going to show you what we are capable of doing. So if you want to try and take us down, bring more mechs.
Um, yeah, I enjoyed the entire campaign. I thought There was a point right around that middle point that we're like something clicked
Hmm.
because this is the first time we've either of us have experienced ACES, and ACES is not going to give you a person versus person type experience of them trying to destroy you. ACES is giving you an experience to play against,
Hmm.
and while it is good, it's just not that good. Um, and I'm not dissing it by saying it's not that good, but it's not going to think like a person in
No.
playing it. So when you come to the realization of that and just play it as if it is a computer game instead of a campaign, if my words are making any sense, um,
They're making sense to me. So I don't
you
know if
you
other
would
people are
enjoy
picking up
it.
on it.
Because like when I'm playing a match of Alpha Strike, right? Against another player, you play a certain way because you expect them to do certain things.
Right.
But let's say if I was playing a computer game, we'll go to your StarCraft. If I was playing a real person, they're going to be doing certain things and blocking me out of doing other options a
Yes.
lot and very aggressively.
Right.
But when you're playing the computer AI in like a campaign mode, um, that's not what they're there to do. They're there to give you a resistance to achieving your objective. And this system does that extremely well.
It does. And it gives you just enough. And I suspect that when you start playing it on the higher levels, uh, and not use the Alpha Strike box as your sole source of mechs, uh, what's really interesting is that it's not that the mechs get harder to blow up or to take out. The experience is the same. It's the fact that you have a lot less firepower to deal with it. And likewise, you have a lot less mechs and units on the table. So you're going to get focus fire more with six mechs on the table versus 10.
Yeah.
So there's that element of it. So the challenge is really, can you create a better strategy for working, not necessarily against the system, but working out the problem of the scenario? And then when you throw in the waypoints, that just adds that element of surprise because you're not 100% sure what you might get. And even if you've played through the campaign once or twice, you might know what the missions are. You might know a good way to beat it. But if those waypoint markers are in completely different spots, you're not 100% sure of, will this mine go off or is it a dud? And you don't know. Um, the mission at night that I was referencing, we might not have hit data points. We might have started seeing the hidden mechs, which they'd have to get powered up and we could probably take them out. But then we're revealing our position and then we have more stuff shooting at us. So
Correct.
it'd be a different problem. And I think even playing that scenario again, not knowing where things are going to be, would be fun to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of replayability in the box.
Yeah, because we played through one path.
Yeah.
There's still two other starting points, and
Hmm.
they'll probably eventually lead to the same thing because I'm going to still bum rush Sender in Mission 4.
Yeah.
But like the beginning is going to be different. And then that middle, as soon as you hit that middle, the difficulty actually ramps up
Yes.
significantly.
That was
Um,
that was one thing
like,
that we were talking about.
yeah, significantly more difficult after that.
Hmm. Because the
So
first,
it's like, learn how to play.
yeah,
Difficulty.
the first mission was, this is fun, and a little bit of challenge. The second one was, that was easy. Third one was, that was a little too easy.
Yeah,
Again,
we really lucked
waypoint.
out on the third one. That one's
Yeah.
supposed to be way more difficult than we got away with.
And then the fourth one was cutscene level. And then the fifth one, you're right. It just went from, oh, wait a minute, we might lose this if we're not careful. Uh, and then that final battle was just the one where we really started getting, hammered, which is why I'm really curious to see what happens with Snowblind and the forces that we're going to face there, just given the nature of, it'll be, the units will all act differently. They're not
Yep.
going to be as aggressive. So it'll be learning a different AI system that's going to try and take you out in a different way. And it's not just going to be one faction. There'll be, I guess I'm hearing there's three different ones total in the box. So you're not only facing an automated opponent, you're facing three automated opponents.
Yeah. So I was really happy with the system. I'm really happy with the campaign. Um, I think this would be a great starting point for someone that doesn't really know Alpha Strike
Yes, I would agree
and
with
to
that.
play with someone, because that's one of the hard things about teaching anyone how to play the game or any game in general. It's like, here, I really, really like this game. Come play a game with me and I'll teach you how to play it. And it's a very difficult balance of I need you to understand how to play it, and I understand it better, but I want you to make your own decisions. But every decision that was a bad decision. Um, and then like for like Armada, for example, like here I'll teach you how to play the game. One of the best players in the world at it. So here's a fleet I like. Here's a fleet you may like, and good luck.
I'm suddenly reminded of one of my first times playing BattleTech. And is it the Black Widows that are the one clan faction that weren't really Black Mech's Red Trim?
So you're thinking that's a company inside of the Wolf Dragoons. So that's the Black Widow
Yes.
company.
Yeah. That was my opponent.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I was given a couple starter mechs, and that was the worst BattleTech experience ever because I got stomped on. That said, I decided to have a little bit of fun, and one of my mechs did do a death from above attack and took one of their mechs out. So I lost, but
So that got you hooked.
that got me hooked. So I'm like, ooh, I can jump on top of things and break stuff. So that was the part that got me into BattleTech decades ago. Um, but yeah, to your point, here, if this was my first experience playing Alpha Strike, and let's say you're the seat, well, you are, but you're the person teaching me. This would have allowed me to sit down with you. I would be able to make some decisions, roll some dice, but you'd be able to help with a general strategy of like, well, this is what we should do. And then this is what I would do, but you've got a couple different options. So why don't you pick something? And then you and I are playing on the same side.
Yeah, the same
And
side thing is just so important for learning how to play.
absolutely. And for, those of us that have played Alpha Strike before and more than once, and have been involved in BattleTech for years, uh, and then take from that the fact that over the last, 6 years now, we've been playing a lot of head-to-head games. It's
Yeah.
fun to play a game with you instead of against you.
Yes.
And I think I'm not going to say that we don't have fun when we're doing head-to-head, but I did have a lot of fun, and there was a little bit more laughter at times, depending on what came up in the midst of the game. And at the same time, when something went horribly wrong, we're both like, "Well, this ain't good."
Well, if something went horribly wrong, I would just immediately blame you.
it 9 times out of 10, it probably was me. It was me rolling dice, John.
It was you rolling dice, but that's just because we randomly decided midway through because we used to do like back and forth rolling dice between things and we're like this makes no sense for filming.
No,
You hold the clipboard of all the stuff and you read it to me and I'll roll the dice and then I'll hold the clipboard of stuff and then you roll dice for that, and it just so happened that I rolled for the good guys and you
yeah,
were rolling for the bad guys.
yeah, which
um
is probably not the best decision we made, but that's okay.
hey,
It
it's a
worked well for
decision.
filming.
Yeah.
And I really do want to take some time and go through this campaign again, like fully and with an interesting force, and maybe go up to that second level where you're off 20%, just because I want to see, challenge myself with a group of mechs that might be fun, and then just try to traverse the opposite side of the tree to see, well, what other missions are available that would be fun endings, or just even the path down to it. Maybe I'll be more aggressive. Maybe I'll decide I'm going to start with attacking the Jade Falcon base from the get-go. See how bad that goes.
Yeah, I honestly think if you guys want to watch it and I have time, if I were to do my own playthrough, I would just We already did the good guy side of it. I'm gonna just be the bad guy of I don't care. We're gonna get this mission done. We're playing on legendary. You didn't hire the friendly mercenary. You hired real mercenaries. We're gonna crash this planet hard. So
Leave
that's
something
my.
in the comments, folks, if you want to see this.
I'm just gonna use the same mechs and same pilots,
I
and
kind of want to see it. So,
yeah. I was thinking like depending on what it is, I would have my son roll the dice, which could be really good or really bad.
I don't know.
When
That's playing with fire. That's like having me roll, John.
I mean, he did set most of the. I would help him help me randomize the things. So I'd be like, pick one, don't look at it, hand it to me. That's how we got the relay so fast. As he randomized that map. He randomized actually most of the early maps for us. So maybe it would be a good thing. But like when we were doing the learn how to play ACES to learn how to use the ACES deck, he was rolling for me, and it would be like my shot would be like 6 attacks dice sets, and it would be like 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. Cool. And then he would roll for them, and it would be like 12, 12, 11, 10. I'm like, oh no, this is not going well at all. Could you split those 12s up a little bit, please? So who knows? We'll see how that goes.
But then you get to enjoy playing Stompy Robots with the little guy.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on Aces besides the fact that we both just want to play it again?
I mean, yeah, I really want to play it again. Uh, it's going to be interesting to see with new campaign boxes what comes out, and if there'll be anything that comes out in a future product they say, oh, this would be something to consider doing in the upfront, in Scouring Sands. I don't know that that would happen, but if you look at something like Draconis Reach versus Hinterlands, there's stuff that's in Draconis Reach that you could easily implement into Hinterlands. So I'm a little curious if anything like that would happen. Probably not, but it'd be kind of cool if that could.
Yeah.
I mean, all in all, it was just a fun experience, and it's something that I know I'm going to be thinking about for a while. We'll probably talk about, over the years, just because it was we got our own story, and it was everything from what the missions were, how they connected together. I got the sense that we were in a living world
Can't
where,
say the name of the world, but we were in a
right,
living
yeah.
one.
But like we got to the one spot towards the end and Conrad Sender wasn't there. That's when we went to instead of going to the transmitter, we went to the power plant to protect that. And Sender wasn't there. He was in the final mission. Yet, I felt like, okay, if we would have gone to the transmitter, we would have run across Conrad Sender and maybe killed him off a mission early. But then we may have not been able to do anything with the desalination plant, and that may would have been worse. So
Yeah.
we stayed true to what our mercenary faction was feeling to do throughout the entire thing, which is we're going to protect the people and then try and accomplish this mission at the same time.
Yeah.
So it was just fun. It was an enjoyable experience, and for a change, I was not shooting at you across the table. I mean, I was as the Jade Falcons, but
Yeah. No, I understand what you mean. It was a lot of fun. And I would highly recommend anyone that's interested in it, just bite the bullet and get it.
yeah.
It's well worth it. Yeah, so I think that's everything for Aces. Our plan is to keep our same force and travel across the galaxy and do the next box when it comes out, Snowblind. So look out for that when that eventually comes out. More on Alpha Strike, not Alpha Strike, more on BattleTech stuff. We are going to be continuing on our Hinterlands campaigns.
Mhm.
I don't know if we're going to be facing each other. I think we're going to just be facing Op 4s, and your pirates are free to go their separate ways, and my Pinkertons are going to go their own way. But very honestly, from the little bit that we've looked through the Draconis Reach book, it solves so many of the issues that we've had with the Hinterlands book.
Mhm.
because the Hinterlands were a good bones, but the bones had nothing in between them to fill it in, and left a lot to be answered. And it looks like they answered a lot of those questions in the Draconis Reach. So we'll stay in the Hinterlands area,
Right.
but we'll probably convert most of the rule system, at least for the missions for sure, and probably pilot progression to that new system in the new book. And then we have an idea later on when we're happy with where our mercenaries in Hinterlands ends up, probably. So we'll be like Hinterlands, Snowblind, and then maybe we'll jump into the Draconis Reach. And there's a thing in the Draconis Reach that basically just takes you through the hotspots as like Davian or uh, House Kirita.
Mhm.
And we may just both play opposites. And then there have like a big campaign event that happens in the last like 3 months of the book. And so we'll build our forces up and then we'll meet head on in that mission instead of like what we were doing in Hinterlands, which we met and then we're
Start
going
and
to go ways. And this one we'll go and then we'll meet up in the last one. So we have a lot of ideas about what to do. So we're really excited. So hopefully you guys stay with us and stick with BattleTech because for sure we'll need new pilot names. So
yeah.
if you are interested in getting a pilot, we'll of course give Patreon first shot, and then we'll open it up if we still need names to the just general audience and Discord and things like that. So
There'll be a
that's kind of
lot
like
of op4 out there that we might need a couple pilots for. So, who knows? Maybe we'll get a recurring op4 that shows up throughout Hinterlands that makes it to Draconis Reach.
I don't think the Jade Falcons are chasing us that far.
Nah, probably not. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I really am because I had a lot of fun playing Classic again when we started out Hinterlands. So this next group of like 3 to 6 months, depending on what we decide to do, will be fun to just proceed through. And I think, like you said, we'll start up some new forces for Draconis Reach, and then Snowblind will come out in the middle of that, is my guess. And then it'll be a whole bunch of BattleTech across this roughly 2 year span of time in Ilclan, which, hey, I mean, if we can have multiple different groups that we can have fighting across the 2 year span, and then who knows what comes out afterwards. Maybe we'll create our own concept of what happens after this first 2 years come by, and then maybe all our forces meet somewhere.
Well, we're still due for 2 more hotspot books
Yes.
and 2 more um ACES boxes for sure.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's
it's
supposed to be
exciting.
basically one ACES box to one of the source books. So
Correct.
we're it'll be there's a lot of BattleTech coming out. And I'm sure that there'll be more revealed at Origins. So whatever's there, I will let people know. Maybe do a couple shorts or a couple recaps in a broadcast after that's over. But yeah, it sounds like there'll be a lot of BattleTech upcoming in the not too distant future.
Yeah. Other things that are on our agendas to record is we're still trying to get back into the unknown to record games. The plan that we had for recording them, like we're planning on doing them on like nights that we ended up doing a lot of these type of episodes. It just wasn't working out. We weren't playing it consistently enough
Yeah.
to remember the rules consistently enough to keep going forward. So we're in a process of relearning them so that we can restart it and record it a different way. And then Ken's been pestering me now for about a year and a half ish, 2 years,
Something like that.
to play Star Trek Alliance with him. So we're very much so because you've finished the first box,
Yes.
right?
Finished the
And
first
there's
box.
3 boxes.
3 boxes.
And I know he enjoyed finishing the first box. He's like, so what if I just start over and you actually played with me now that we've done this cooperative thing? So we may just restart Alliance from the very beginning, play through it, and then just keep rolling through it through all 3 boxes. So we might do that. More to come. So that's kind of where we are at.
Yeah, that's the big highlights, and I think a lot of that's going to carry us through Probably
And
most
I
of the
mean, with
year.
what we just said, that's going to be like 2 years.
Yeah.
Let's be very honest.
Oh, well, I mean, as we start getting into Draconis Reach and the rest of Hinterland, yeah, I mean that alone, we're probably 2 years worth of content. So I guess we're going to stick around for a while, John.
Yep.
I mean, pretty much it's waiting on some new products to come out for us to really jump on it. But we do want to get back into Star Trek Into the Unknown. I wanted to make sure that that was mentioned twice because we've got a lot that we want to showcase on that. It's just a matter of us having to sit down and really focus on it. And then, we want to finish Hinterlands. That's another big thing. So we can jump into Snowblind and Draconis Reach. So we got a lot that
We're,
we want to do, and we're looking forward to it.
we're still in the planning processes for the rest of season 8 of
Yep.
Armada. So more to come on that.
Yep.
So until next time, I'll probably still be digging a hole in my backyard. And Ken's probably going to still be trying to figure out plumbing in his house.
Yeah.
And
Never
in
ending.
between that, we're going to play some games and record them and then release them for you guys.
That we will, and then stay tuned because there'll be more home improvement episodes coming your way.
It never ends. So until next time, I'm John.
I'm Ken.
And this has been Ion Radio.